Hello Cherries fans and welcome to the Matchday preview show here on Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And once again, our preview shows this season, we're on location, showcasing lots of different businesses, locations and groups all over the BCP area. Now today, Tom, we're at the Woodpecker Cafe and Bar at the Queen's Park Golf Course. That's a great place to come and have a beer or a drink or some food before any Cherries game, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done it a few times, haven't we? It's really nice here. The breakfast and that, loads of options, really nice. I remember them doing some like Bournemouth player puns.
I've got them here. I've got them here on the menu. Right, let's check. So we got Travis tuna salad.
Yeah, happy with that.
Lerma's nachos.
Oh, I tell you what. Get them in.
Hot and spicy. Also, we've got Mepham's chili con carne.
Nice.
Billings beef burger.
Oh, Billings beef.
And also Solanke's buckets as well. So basically, you can choose, probably his buckets of goals, right?
Oh yeah, Christie's chunky chips.
Yeah, Stacey's cheesy chips, Kelly's you know what? Check this out. Honestly, it's a really good place actually to come and have a drink, whether it's a coffee, a tea, food, or an alcoholic beverage. And on the balcony, you can overlook the golf course as well. Really nice place to go, and it's only a 10-minute walk to Dean Court from here as well, mate.
Yeah, it's ideal, mate. It's ideal, and I like the way when you walk up to the cafe, they've got little Bournemouth things about, and they've got Bournemouth shirts up and stuff. So yeah, they've made it into kind of that Bournemouth feel, which is nice. And as you say, mate, just around the corner, so you all see people walking to the ground from this sort of area. So yeah, pop in.
Yeah.
Lovely way to start.
And do mention to the staff as well that you saw it on Back of the Net, so they know they're being watched, and also it's not a waste of time having us here. I'm sure it isn't, because last time, lady, you came to the Woodpecker Cafe after we were here. So yeah, good stuff. Pay it a visit. Why not? We've had some really good feedback from being on location so far, and it's part of our aim to give a bit back. So if your business is interested in being included, and just pop us an email, fans@afcbpodcast.com, or DM us on the socials, and we'll come to you to record our preview shows. Right. That's the admin done, Tom. Apart from one little thing, there's a little red button down there that some people haven't actually pressed yet. What's going on?
I can't believe people still, just look at that red button and leave it there. Just give it a click, and it goes away. But no, we'd really appreciate it. Click the old subscribe and like and all that good stuff. And yeah, because we're delivering content all the time at the moment. There's content nearly every day. So get on it, support us. We really appreciate it.
So on this preview show, it's all about the Gunners, Arsenal, the Arsenal, and we're splitting this show into 4 different directions. First, what we think about them. Then we'll be chatting to an Arsenal fan to hear what they think about us. We'll also go through the details of the game before we give our predictions both on the team and the score. Now, you're going to also predict their team too, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing better with the opposition team than I have ourselves, mate, so
good luck
I'll
with
give
that.
it a crack. I'll give it a crack.
Well, look, this is live on Sky, of course, 5:30 kickoff, and Bournemouth will be looking to bounce back, but it's going to be another tough game for the Cherries. And look, we've basically got 2 consecutive matches against teams that have started perfectly, Tom. Not easy, eh?
No, are they the only I think they're only 2 on 6 points, aren't they, City and Arsenal? So yeah, not ideal, but we knew that when we saw the fixture list, didn't we? Yeah, we don't need to keep going over it. The main thing was to get off that good start against Villa, which we did. And these are kind of seen as, they're not going to define our season, Man City, Arsenal and then Liverpool. But I think it's because they're all back to back, it makes it really, you don't want to lose 3 in a row. But it's very difficult. If they're all spread out, you'd be going, well, we're not going to get anything. But listen, we're at home to Arsenal. We've beat Arsenal at home before, we've drawn with Arsenal before. So they won't be taking it too lightly, I don't think. They have started well, they are a different kettle of fish now, which we'll get on to. But listen, it's 11v11, as we said last time. They're not Man City. They want to get there, but they're not Man City, and we're just going to have to scrap away and see if we can nick something, mate. Who knows?
So later on, we're going to get an Arsenal view on themselves, but also us. And if you're looking for an Arsenal guest, what kind of guest would you be looking for? I mean, fan channel-wise, Arsenal have got a plethora, but of course, one of the largest is AFTV. And one of the faces from that, who do you reckon? You
want one of the main men from AFTV, that'd be ideal. Someone like Lee Judges, maybe? Can we do that?
I expect we can.
We've got that in the locker.
We've got that in the locker. We're going to be getting Lee Judges on, and I love it because with him, it's so raw, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
You get the elation when they win, the frustration and the anger when they lose, and that's what is being a football fan's all about. But this season, Tom, I've got to say, it feels different, even as an outsider looking at Arsenal. They look a different club, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think it's definitely a process thing with Arsenal. They've got. I mean, you're looking at Man U now, and you think they need to go down this route a little bit and kind of clear out. It's not easy to just, people think, well, just get rid of them players and get some more. It's not easy to do. They're on long contracts, on big wages. You need other clubs to take them off. And Arsenal, since Arteta's come in, has slowly done that, and it's looked like it's very long-term thinking, but it seems like now after a few seasons, he's got his team now, hasn't he? And they're young. They're all like virtually the same age. And they look exciting now, and what they've also done is made themselves not soft defensively, I think. That was always a question mark. And you look at their team now, in all areas you think they're quite strong. And I'm even looking at the people on the bench and you think, oh, they've got a bit of depth now as well now. So yeah, they're definitely a different animal at the moment, but it's very, very early on, mate.
It is early, and look, they're a team that were once winning titles, and then they were once a top 4 team, and everyone always goaded them about only having aspirations for being top 4, but then they even fell out of that. But now it just feels as though they've stepped back into maybe top 4 mode. I think they're probably still a bit way off pushing for the title, but they're certainly going in the right direction. And I've been looking at this documentary, All or Nothing Arsenal, which is really interesting. Of course, they've done it before for Man City, they've done it for Spurs, and it does get the feeling that something's changed. And Mike Arteta, who arrived in December 2019, of course, he was Pep's assistant at Man City for a while. His first game in charge, in fact, was on Boxing Day at Dean Court, where we drew 1-1 against them. But it feels as though he's integral to the way that Arsenal are changing. And I was a bit unclear when watching the first episodes how I thought about him, but it's clear the further you go through the series, there's a process there, there's respect, and he's getting players playing for him. Yeah,
no, I agree. And I think the people above him as well, Edu, technical director, they look like they've kind of gone, Mikel, our trust is in you. We know it's long term, but we're going to back you every step of the way. You saw that with the Aubameyang thing. The people at the top, they don't want someone on that sort of wages just not playing football, but they back the manager, and I think they saw that there's a lot of dead wood that we need to clear out here, but we trust Arteta, and it looks like it's slowly coming to fruition. I think you've seen that in the doc that there's not just going to be they're going to be great every week, but even the players, I just feel like, even though obviously they're technically good players, but he's bringing in people that they feel like the right characters and they're together a bit more. I always felt with Arsenal, you had so many players from different countries that didn't really, you just thought, is there a togetherness there? There's just kind of square pegs round holes all the time. So yeah, he's certainly getting them that way, and yeah, he's making them look like a group again. And yeah, I think that, as you say, mate, I think City are well ahead and Liverpool, they are well ahead. But I think after that, you then go Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal are all kind of competing for them top, 3 and 4, and one of them will miss out. Arsenal, maybe some people would say, are in 5th at the moment in that pecking order, but I would probably say at the moment I would back them to get top 4 if I had to put money on it. I think they're going to make it this season.
I've got to say, at the start of the season, you're looking at the opening 4 fixtures for AFC Bournemouth. You're seeing that we're playing Villa first, and then we're playing Manchester City, we're playing Arsenal, we're playing Liverpool. Obviously the emphasis for us was on Aston Villa needing to get 3 points. Thankfully we did. And then it goes Manchester City. You're not going to get 3 points there. Against Liverpool, again, we were thinking that, although their start to the season hasn't been particularly great. But before a ball was kicked at the start of the season, I must admit, I didn't put Arsenal in that same bracket as Man City and Liverpool, because that's probably a historical thing, and maybe we'll chat to league judges about that. But we were thinking, we've done it before, we can do it again. So there is always, for me, that doubt that the good Arsenal might not turn up, but from what I've seen of their first 2 games, they look a lot better on the pitch.
They do. I think there's still got to be an element of that, though, of the sense that this is a home game. City and Liverpool are both away from home, and we can't be going into any home game just throwing it away. I think we have got to look at it as, if we perform to our levels, we can nick something at home to Arsenal. I believe anyone can. I think what's probably changed it a little bit is they went to Palace on the opening day away from home. You think that's typical Arsenal, will go and fall apart there and they kept a clean sheet and were very professional, even when they went under a bit of pressure. And then they just hit 4 past Leicester. So you're automatically going to go into it thinking, they look better than I thought, and new signings have really hit the ground running. But we played 1 game at home, mate. We didn't concede a goal and we won. That's the only kind of. It's just a very small sample size, but I think we showed against Villa. If you can get the first goal at home, make ourselves difficult to break down, we can frustrate them. I mean, Arsenal haven't gone behind in a game yet. If we can do that, let's see how they react then. We've got to try and do that. But I think we're going to go into it with elements of that City game of being deep, being hard to break down. But we've just got to show a little bit more emphasis on trying to impose ourselves on them down the other end of the pitch. We didn't do that against City, I understand it, but I think with Arsenal we've got to put something on them. Then we can't just sit back against Arsenal all game, because they will eventually break us down. I think we've got to try and see where we can exploit them, mate. And there are a few areas I think we can.
They've always had good players, but quite often they've had maybe one-star man that you're looking at trying to keep quiet. But this season it seems like there's more of them.
Yes.
And look, as a club, that there was a time where they were almost reluctant to sign players, and that they'd make the odd flagship signing once every so often. But now they're getting in players that are very astute signings, but also Premier League experience as well. Namely, of course, Gabriel Jesus, 45 mil. Also Zinchenko from Man City as well. But also they've complemented that with some other signings as well. Marquinhos, Fabio Vieira, Matt Turner, etc. They are spending money now, but it feels instantly like these players have hit the ground running. And Gabriel Jesus, wow, he's one that we really need to keep tabs on.
Yeah, I think when you get a couple of players like Jesus and Zinchenko that have, not only have they got Premier League experience, they've got experience of winning the Premier League. They've also got experience of working with Mike Arteta. That is very much a formula of they should hit the ground running, so to speak, and they have. The fact that I always thought Kieran Tierney was one of their better players, can't get in the team. And it shows the quality, and Jesus is one who started on fire. But then you've also got Martinelli and Saka either side. Ødegaard now got the captain's armband, pulling the strings. But then, as I said earlier, with Saliba, feels like a new signing because he's been out on loan at the back, and Partey in front. They don't have that softness about them. That's a bit of steel as well, and we all know about Rambo in between the sticks as well. So it feels like they've got all the pieces starting to come together now. You always felt like there was a position where they could upgrade, but at the moment they're looking pretty sharp, mate. And as you say, Jesus in particular is he started the season pretty well. He's probably he's one of the most unformed players in the league, so to speak, at the moment. So. And
he's one of the most picked FPL players, I think, by the sounds of it,
Not
isn't
surprised,
he? He delivered last week.
Yeah, well underpriced. I think he's over 3 million cheaper than Haaland and Kane. I know Haaland and Kane are brilliant, but Jesus is, he's scoring goals, going to assist, he's going to be their main man. So I think everyone's got him in. I have. I'm not captaining him though. I'm not going to captain him.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, of course, they won their first game of the season 2-0 at Palace. Then they beat Leicester City 4-2, and look, they let them in a couple of times. And at 3-2, you're thinking, Leicester could be in this, but it was only moments later that Arsenal restored their lead. And Bournemouth ourselves under Eddie Howe had games like that where we were always in control, but we just let these little leads slip or whatever. But yeah, 4-2. Jesus scored a couple there, Xhaka and Martinelli also. Well, Bournemouth's record against Arsenal, in the Premier League, it's not overly bad at home. We've won one, we've drawn two, we have lost two as well. But overall, it's not so great. Winning one, drawing two, losing 9. But the only times we have got points are at home.
Yeah, I've always felt like when I've gone to the Emirates, this is obviously more in recent times in the Premier League, we've never been in it at the Emirates. But for some reason at home, and maybe that is that historical thing of Arsenal being a little bit soft sometimes away from home, small ground, you can get the first goal, etc., etc. But every time we play them at home, I think we've been in the game, whereas every time away from home, we haven't. So we've got to look at that, and and we've got proofs in the pudding, innit? Say, we've got points off them at home before, Jordan Ives got winners off them. Do you know what I mean? We've done all right against them, and I know they're a different side, but we've got to look for any kind of positive omens we can, really.
We'll chat to Lee about this later on, I'm absolutely certain. But Rambo, of course, is our link, I suppose, to Arsenal. Obviously, he went to Sheffield United before he ended up at the Emirates. But he was with us for a few seasons, out on loan for the majority of his Bournemouth career. But then, got thrust into the limelight by starting nearly every game of our Premier League season, the last one. And that, of course, was a relegation season. And then he goes to United, Sheffield United, it gets relegated, and you start to wonder, are Arsenal fans going to see this guy as a relegation specialist? And it's fair to say that as he was joining the club, it took a lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of them needed to be convinced about this guy that they were going to sign, didn't know much about him. A lot of the top 6 clubs or whatever don't really know much.
Similar to City with Ake, I felt.
Yeah, absolutely. And he had to prove his point, but I think through the documentary, but mainly through his performances, especially in the first part of last season, you can see his passion and the way he brought fans together. You saw that clip he did, your chips are, and all that kind of stuff. Loved all that. And he's the kind of character that they need at that club, I think.
I totally understand why they were sceptical. I mean, he's just gone to Fulham now, but they had burnt Leno in goal, and I don't think Arsenal fans really felt they needed a keeper because Leno was a decent keeper for them. I think what it's shown, I think the documentary shows it as well, is what Mikel's doing. That people have been saying this for years about Arsenal, that they need characters, they need leaders. They've always felt, I keep saying it, but they always felt soft and you can get them. And I knew when they signed Ramsdale, I thought, it'll take him a while, but they'll see what he's like and he'll be a fan's favourite because he just pumps, he cares so much. See on the documentary, I think it's Villa, that they beat like 3-1, is it? And Villa scored like a last minute consolation goal and he's fuming.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. And I think Arsenal fans are seeing that now. And also, take all that away, he's a bloody good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get better. He's still only young. He knows he wants to fight for that England spot. And he will do what Mikel wants, very good at playing out from the back, etc., etc. But we were saying off air, weren't we, that when he missed the game through, I think it was through some sort of injury or else that, and Travers, our goalkeeper now, kind of made like a rare appearance. He was in the crowd.
He was in the crowd, in the north stand, behind the goal. He wasn't in the executive box or whatever, or looking on from afar.
No.
He was in with the fans.
And he's just a great character to have around the place. But first and foremost, he needs to be good in his position, and he is. He's a top goalkeeper, in my opinion. There's still things he needs to work on, but he's young. You know, goalkeepers don't hit their prime until about 30. Do you know what I mean? So he's going to be a guy. I think he's going to be the England number one for years to come, to be honest. And really like him. I'm looking forward to giving him a good reception, as I'm sure he'll get. But hope he has a little bit of an off game, of course.
Do you get the feeling, when I've looked on at the North London derby in previous seasons, the best part of the last decade, it's felt like you watch various fan channels and you can see the opposition fans tearing into each other. You know, Gunners fans are tearing into Spurs fans are tearing into the Gunners, and you know, they're not really moving forward, either of them, as a club. And Man City and Liverpool just went that step further and stuff. And it's almost like you're not actually that great, yet there's this massive rivalry. And for a number of seasons, they were just trying to get one up on each other.
Yeah.
But now it seems like both teams have actually improved. And this season could be one of the most competitive, but also one of the best quality of both camps this time round.
Yeah.
And for a neutral observer, I think it's going to be a really interesting watch to see how those two teams compare.
Yeah, honestly, I know from watching different things, and they hate each other with a passion, Arsenal and Tottenham. And I think it's always been over the years. I agree with what you're saying. It's kind of recently one or both of them have been right on the floor when they've played each other. But historically, it was always cracking football matches. And now, it's weird how it's worked in it. Arsenal suddenly seem on the up at the same time that Tottenham have suddenly got, how they got Conte, I don't know, like one of the best managers around. And suddenly you're starting to think, which they're both going for at the same time. And then Chelsea, even though they started all right, because obviously neither of them like Chelsea that much, they're on the London side, and they've obviously lost Abramovich. You're thinking, could both of them pip Chelsea? That would be, I mean, you never would have thought that Arsenal and Tottenham will both look strong. But I think there's a lot of people that actually think Chelsea could be the ones that miss out on the top four. It's going to be really interesting. I think all three of them London clubs are going to be battling it out. But yeah, I agree, mate. Both of them look strong, and I think a lot of people have spoke about the kind of what Conte's done at Tottenham in the window. But I think you're seeing early on, I think Arsenal's transfer window went under the radar a little bit. I think people, everyone talked about Jesus, but I don't think people realise how good Zinchenko was, for example. He's won Premier Leagues, and I think the guy's really impressive. So yeah, that'll be a really good game when that comes about. But yeah, not sure who's got the edge at the moment. Not sure.
We will see. Well, that's our views on them. I think it's time to hear their views on us and to talk about it. We spoke to Lee Judges, star of his own channel. He's a fan name synonymous with the football club, but a stalwart of AFTV as well. So we not only asked him about the Arsenal, but also his views on Bournemouth.
I'm going to say I think it's one of the best grounds to go and visit as an away fan. You get right close to the players, right close to the pitch. Great atmosphere there. This is unbelievable. This is the first time in a long while Bournemouth we're playing sort of like August, you know, in a nice sunny, like the last few times we played there'd been January and February. Of course I ain't going to this one like it's in August, like, you know, so there you go. I think our firepower will be too much for them on this game. If we play to our ability, firepower and movement. I know we conceded a couple of goals against Leicester, but some of the football we played was sublime. It was really, really good to watch. It was fast, quick, interchanging was fantastic. Jesus was unplayable. I'm going to be honest about it. Like, the two hardest games we've played, Crystal Palace away, Leicester at home. I think, Bournemouth's going to be tough because it's away from home. But, if Manchester City were going there, Tottenham are going there, or Chelsea are going there, you're expecting those teams to win. So that is important that we're in that same category. We've got to go there and get the job done. I totally expect us to do that. And because of the players that we've got. And so I feel it'd be an important game for us to get a win. But I think it's very, very important that we put in a performance against Bournemouth, because I think what I'm seeing at the moment, I think we can all agree, is very much a feel-good atmosphere at Arsenal at the moment. But it's still not on what I would say safe footings and foundations, because I've the documentary's out showing you the failures of last season at this moment in time. So it is an important time that Arsenal continue this positive road. And, if we was to win 3 or 4-0 on Saturday, I don't think we will, but if we was to do that, that would be a massive, massive statement. Yeah. Massive statement. He's done really well. I've loved the way that he sort of got the fans involved, even with his team talks, saying that, you've got to get the fans on board. And listen, before the game kicked off on Saturday, I was confident that we'd beat Leicester, even though Leicester are a decent side. I just felt that we've got players now that are exciting. And I think that when you've got exciting footballers, the crowd will be excited. I think that we've had dull football over the last couple of years, because we've gone possession based, but we just haven't had the right players in the right positions, and it's just not been exciting. But I've been excited by Saliba, I've been excited by Jesus, I've been excited by Zinchenko, and then I've also been excited by players like Martinelli, because of what Jesus is doing has just opened up the game for him a little bit. I also think the way we're playing has opened it up for Granit Xhaka as well, because he seems to be pushing a little bit more forward now. The reason he can push a bit forward is because teams are dropping off, because they know that we've got things now that can hurt. And I'm going to say it now, I think we'll beat Bournemouth as well. And if we don't, I will be very, very disappointed. And this is where for me now, it's great what Mikel's doing. You can't help but not like the guy, the way he's doing all things, but still he's accountable. This is where it starts now. These games, this is where he earns his corn.
Brilliant to chat to Lee Judges there. What a guy.
I love the judge.
Yeah. Love him. Wasn't he, in a previous life, wasn't he like a laundrette or something?
Oh yeah, he did work at a laundrette. No, you're right. Yeah, I remember hearing that, because I used to love, especially during COVID, the watch-alongs and that they used to do, and he used to lose his head. Didn't he? It was great. But I think you said earlier, really good with that raw reaction. But he knows his stuff as well. But yeah, I remember that. He's good bloke there, and really nice to have him on.
And you know what, in terms of like fan channels and stuff, AFTV's obviously been pivotal, but I mean, it was the whole sort of movement was the Red Men, and like AFTV, Robbie took it on, and it's kind of like, I'm glad that fans like that have been thrust into the limelight, because these are the kind of people that we see week in, week out, that never would usually feature on TV previously. It might be a little, 5-second soundbite or whatever previously on the news reports, but now we're being able to create our own content, and it's kind of inspiration. Like channels like that, that's why we do what we do as well. Even though we're a little diddy channel, hopefully we reflect it, and people like me, the salt and earth of the game, absolutely love it.
That's what it's all about. And I always say the people that have all the knowledge of the world about football, the people that know the most about the football club, are the ones that go every game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what we do, mate. Even Norwich.
Yeah, I know. Can't believe we've drawn them again.
Oh, don't, mate. Still got PTSD.
So, AFC Bournemouth team news is scrolling across the bottom of the screen now. In terms of players to watch, mate, I mean, we could say Marcus Senesi, because he came on for the last 10 minutes at Man City, and
what a player!
He looked.
Changed the game.
We didn't concede when he was on, but his distribution, the way he read the game.
Good little cameo, wasn't it?
Do you think he could be starting? We'll go on to teams in a minute, but do you think he could be starting?
Yeah, I do. I think that was quite a. I think if he had like another week, I think he would have started the City game. But I think it was getting him on for them little minutes at the end, just to get him in shape, ready for this game. To be honest with you, I think he starts. I think you can get him a couple of games back to back now. You can start him in this game and then get his match fitness up by playing him potentially against Norwich, and just get him ready, because I think it's important to get him ready with the group. So I think. I think it's good to get his debut at home as well against Arsenal, and like you say, he looked really comfortable on the ball. So I'm really excited to see him, and we'll make changes again, I'm sure. It's been really hard to predict our team, actually.
Yeah,
it's been really hard.
Absolutely. So you've seen, of course, that Jordan Zemura last week was out with COVID. At the bottom of the screen, you've seen all the news, including that of Dom Solanke as well. In terms of Arsenal, I think Reece Nelson has been out injured. Another doubt is Fabio Vieira. But other than that, I think they're pretty strong, which doesn't bode well for us. Now, the referee, that's Craig Pawson. Last time we had him was at Dean Court when Saints were the visitors in July 2020.
Was that COVID? Was that the COVID one?
I think it was, yeah.
Oh, what, when we...
Yeah, Sam Surridge.
Ramsdale saved the pen, didn't he?
Disallowed goal. Ramsdale saved Danny Ings' pen, wasn't it?
Yeah, now Ramsdale's back. I like that. That's nice.
So
weird.
There's a bit of symmetry there.
Yeah.
So
we just beat Danny Ings' team.
Yeah.
Villa.
Exactly.
It's in the bag.
It's in the bag. Maybe. All right then. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go through the teams, mate, and once again you're going to predict home and away this week, aren't you? Do you think you're going to be able to do it successfully?
I'm confident more with the opposition again. That's what I mean with us at the moment, with the odd injuries and the system change. It's quite difficult to do us at the moment, but I'll give it a go.
Here we go then, let's do it. Right, there we go. There's the pitch, and we've got the same formation, mate.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be standard throughout the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right then, we'll start in goal. Who you go for?
We can't have Ramsdale. They're not going to let us have him for a game, are they? I still think Travers. Obviously, we've got Neto. I think we'll see him soon, actually, against Norwich, I would have thought, which would be interesting. But Travers in goal, obviously.
All right then. This is where I'm really interested. Now, don't take any notice of the numbers. It's just a system that we use on Chosen 11. But across the back, we could be seeing the introduction of our new 15 million signing.
Yeah, I'm whacking him in the middle of that three.
Okay.
Whacking him in the middle of the three. I think he's going to start this one, and then we're going to keep Meps on that right side.
Yeah.
When I say keep, him and Lerma have kind of changed that right and centre position. But I'm going to go Meps on the right hand side, and then I'm going to go the captain Lloyd Kelly on that left hand side. And I quite like the shape of that. I know probably going into the season people were like, "Oh, Meps ain't going to play much," and obviously went. But I think he started the season pretty well, to be honest with you. And I would rather that than having someone that's more pivotal in midfield and moving to the back.
Okay, so will Zemura be back, or is he going to persevere with having Jack Stacey on the left-hand side and Smith on the right? But is Zemura straight back in? Yeah,
for me. I think the fact that it's an illness and not an injury, I think helps. As long as he's recovered from that, fine. He'll be on that left side, I would have thought. I felt for Stacey. I gave him a bit of grief, but it was hard for him to get chucked in like that at the deep end. But he's not that side of player anyway. So Zemura in and Smudger will stay on the right-hand side. I think he's been all right so far this season, without being sensational. I think he's been pretty solid.
There's a notable absentee in defence that's been playing in that position for the last couple of games, and I'm hoping that you're going to put him in midfield.
Of course I am, mate. Dropping him, am I? Yeah, Jeff Lerma in there. I'm actually going to make a bold shout next to him. I'm not saying a bold shout, but I think Pearson's done quite well in the last few games. But I think he's going to go Lewis Cook.
Okay.
And that's only because I don't know if you agree or let me know. I don't see Lerma and Pearson together. And I think Pearson's been playing because he's had to move Lerma back.
Lerma's like the enforcer, isn't he?
And because Lerma's moved back, he's had to put Pearson in. I think Pearson's done himself no harm, but I think in this one we might see Lerma and Cook in there.
If somehow we're leading with 20 minutes to go, maybe Pearson will be that one who comes on to enforce even more. But
that's what I'm going to go with,
And then player 9 and 10 here.
This is a toughie.
This is tough.
Off the right side, I'm going to go like he did in the opening day, Marcus Tavernier.
Yeah.
So obviously left-footed, but I'm going to go with him cutting in off that right side. And he's been good. He's made a good start to his fourth career actually. Excited to see him again at home. I thought he was very good on the opening day. So I'm going to go with Tavernier. And on this side, kind of the left side, but probably a little bit more narrow if you like, I'm going to go Phil Billing.
Phil Billing.
I think he's going to start Billing, this guy. I know Billing in the opening day started in like a double pivot and then was obviously left out for the City game, which I understand. But I think we saw in that City game, if we're going to get knockdowns in that, we need someone to be close to the striker. And I think Billing will do this. I don't think Christie had a great game. So I'm going to go Billing there. Even though he's a more central player, he can drift to that left a little bit. So I think Billing's going to start this one.
And who are you going for up front then, Tom?
It's got to be Dom Solanke, mate. If he's fit, then he plays, doesn't he? That's Dom Solanke for you, isn't it? If he's available, you play Dom Solanke. So Harsh and Moore, but I think this might be one where we just go with one of them. Moore's a great option off the bench as well. But yeah, gonna go for Dom. If Dom's available, Dom plays.
There we go then. That is Tom's team. What's your team? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear what you got to say. So, Arsenal, there you go. There's the team sheet, and that's the formation that you've gone for, mate.
Yeah.
So like a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, pretty flexible, but that's kind of how they shape up. Yeah, obviously, yeah, they move around a little bit, but they do tend to have one of the midfielders a little bit harder than the other two.
There's going to be a standing ovation for the keeper, I'm certain.
I don't know, we haven't seen much of Matt Turner. No, it's going to be Aaron Ramsdale in goal, yeah. Look forward to giving him a bit of a reception, I'm sure. And then giving us some stick as well, just for a bit of banter. But yeah, love Rambo, and he'll be in the sticks.
All right, we'll go from right to left then, mate.
Yep.
So who's your right back?
We go with Ben White. He's actually obviously known to be a centre half, but he started the season at right back and done a decent job there. Tommy Asu's only just come back from injury. I think he might try and push himself in the team. He'll probably be on the bench, but White's earned the place there, and he started pretty well at right back, so he'll be there.
Who are their two centre backs?
Saliba, how do you want to call it? The one that's kind of like a new signing, I guess, but he's been out on loan for 2 seasons. But they're really impressed with him, and Gabriel as well. I think goes under the radar. Gabriel, I think he's one of the best centre halves in the league. Really do. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And then obviously Zinchenko at left back.
I was actually going to put Gabriel in my fantasy team, but he was a little bit out of reach.
Oh, that's class. I didn't even know. That was really good. You didn't even set that. I like that. I'm not going to try him on for Zinchenko. But yeah. But no, when you were listening to Gabriel, were you having a party? Because he's in the middle.
I was about to go,
Yeah, party's in there. I can't do anything for the one next to him, but Granit Xhaka,
Yeah.
who probably gets a little bit of stick, and he's someone you feel like you can get at, but I think he's been very good now. He's got a few better players around him, and there's less responsibility on Xhaka.
I'll always remember an Arsenal fan sat in his room on his webcam on YouTube, and he posted this video, a song for Xhaka along the lines of Frère Xhaka. Granit Xhaka,
Oh, I like
Xhaka. And it was the worst thing. It went viral. It was great.
Zinchenko. Yeah, I like it.
Right. Okay. Let's do these remaining 4
Yep.
then, mate.
So yeah, go in the kind of central attacking midfield role, Odegaard. As I say, them 3 are flexible, but Odegaard, who's got the armband this season, he's also captain for Norway, isn't he? So yeah, he's a talented player, so he'll be in there. We've got to watch him a little bit. I think he goes under the radar. But yeah, Odegaard in there, and then Saka off the right-hand side. Who's probably weirdly not been there. He's normally their star. This is what we're saying about Arsenal evolving. He's normally their main man.
Only scored 2 points last week in FPL.
Yeah, have you got him, have you?
No, I have.
But the one that's been better is Martinelli on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
I wish I had him.
Comes across as, in All or Nothing, comes across as a really humble guy.
Yeah, I've said this before. I think a lot of the South Americans, they just seem grafters, don't they? I don't know if it's the way they're brought up and things like that, and how big it is. But
Not really worried about the money and stuff.
No, it reminds me of Tevez, Alexis Sanchez, them
Just
sort
wants to
of
make
players.
sure his family are all right, that kind of thing.
Yeah, great guy. But yeah, he's a really good player. He'll cause problems. And then obviously Gabriel Jesus up top. So yeah, obviously start the season really well, but let's hope he doesn't turn water into wine on this occasion.
Love that.
So yeah, that's unchanged for their first 2 games, I believe. So, but they got no need to change it. But they have got players on the bench, as I say, mate. They have got some options. That have Smith Rowe potentially should be available from the bench. He's obviously an option, and Ketia can do a job. And as we mentioned there, they have got a few options. Tommy Asu, Tierney. So they got a better squad depth now. But that's a good 11, mate. That's a really good 11.
Tasty, very, very tasty, and there's some tasty food here at the Woodpecker Cafe as well. So make sure
What
if
a
you
segue
want,
that was.
I know, we're getting good at this.
You'll get
if you want to go somewhere different, then why not pop along here? You can have tea, coffee, food. Trevor's tuna salad is a speciality.
Just come here, have your brekkie, soak it all up. Go and watch Tottenham Wolves, half 12, right? Watch that, think, oh, how are Wolves looking? We've got them in a few weeks. I need to, see how they're looking. Watch 3 o'clock's rolling, see where we're going to be. Straight onto the game.
Yeah,
why not? What a day.
Like I say, only a 10-minute walk, so yeah, and plus you can have that drink here as well. Sit on the balcony, so yeah, it's a really lovely day today. And I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. Whether you're an Arsenal fan who's watching or a Bournemouth fan travelling down, safe travels. I'm sure there are some some Arsenal fans in Bournemouth. I'm absolutely certain of that. But if you are an Arsenal fan and you want to chart this match over the weekend, well, I tell you what we do. We do a free-for-all at full time, just outside, on the other side of where the AFTV lot will be filming, on the other side of the ground, just opposite the what's called the 1910 bar. You're welcome to come on camera if you want. After that, I think we'll probably nip over there, mate.
Yeah, there's
get a few views
there's not too many like kind of fan cams anymore, is there? And
No.
is this the fan cam derby? Because we always do it and Arsenal always do it as well. So yeah, we'll probably pop over there, but obviously more than welcome. You know, they're only around the corner, so if you're kind of an Arsenal fan, you're waiting to get on AFTV and you think, oh, if you just walk around the corner, you'll see us there and you can come and have a chat with us. We always like getting an opposition on, don't we? It's always interesting.
And we'll post the video just after full time, but also on Sunday morning as well, there's the match day vlog. On Monday, there's the second look. That's all sat around the table. Could be the return of Neil Dawson this week, mate.
Oh, that's big.
That is huge.
Oh my God.
And then also there's plenty of other content next week, including the Premier League show as well. So yeah, why not hit the subscribe button and make sure you give us a like as well. We truly appreciate it. Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure as always, mate. I'm looking forward to this one. I feel like first game I was a bit nervy because I was thinking, because of the fixtures we need something. Happy days. City, I was kind of like, well, what do we expect? This one's kind of a bit
in the balance, isn't it?
All or nothing. No, that's ridiculous. But no, it's a little bit in the balance, like you're saying. I'm really intrigued to see. We've got to show a bit of the City, be deep, be nasty to break down, but we've got to offer something at the other end. So I'm really excited to see how we set up. And yeah, I think we might pull a surprise. I feel.
Can Bournemouth outgun the Cherries? We'll find out tomorrow. Until then, up the Chess.
Up the Chess.